All right, I am still throwing around in my mind the whole concept of stone stories for us to both document and remember the stories behind the stones we found or our favorite stones. Take a look at this group. I have a couple things I want to show you today. I have something right here in this box that you have to see. It was what I received for the giveaway. Maybe 10 videos back, the 5-point giveaway. We're going to look at that. It has been distributed to a really thankful heart, really good hands. But take a look at these points. If you pause it, you're going to be able to see some great points. And I want to make some comments about these points and check them out as we go through our stone stories for today. Now, right before this, I posted a video live from the field in Notchville. But, of course, as you can see, you know this. There is quite a depth in some of these bins. More than one person said, you got to get a new tackle box. No, I have a lot of room, believe it or not. I just move them around so that they'll be balanced. Now, of course, you see this little bin right there. The reason I showed you that, and some people just click through and what have you, is because all of these here, all of them, fit in there easy, which is cool to me. Just works. So we're going to take a really great look at these. I just popped them out here. Have a little bit of time before I need to get busy Friday afternoon. A lot of things to do. Let's take a look at this. About 10 videos ago, and I'll host them every once in a while, giveaways. These giveaways were associated with sort of a trade. If there was something within you that you wanted to trade in order to get the giveaway, then I wanted you to make a comment of that thing. And there was no rhyme or reason to it. It was just something that you found inherently valuable, that you wanted to trade for the artifacts that I was going to give away. And they have been really great groups. This 5-point giveaway, go back about 10 videos and look for the title, 5-point giveaway. So let's just roll. Look at this. And before I saw these, he mentioned what he did. Because the fella that got the 5 really nice artifacts mentioned he ties flies. And, many people had great offers in the 5-point giveaway. Don't get me wrong out there. Stay tuned, there'll be more. But as many of you know, maybe from the verbiage that I have, I am really big on things that are either nostalgic or utilitarian. And these are completely utilitarian. They're awesome. I can use these. I know how to fly fish. I can rig my fly. I can, these I can go down and I can get 15, 20 smaller panfish out of the stream right near my house here, and we can have something to eat. If things go sideways, these are extremely valuable. Great hooks, great sets of ties. And so I said to him, definite. I had no idea how many ties he would do, but he sent me this case with it, and I didn't know that ahead of time. I just said, yeah, you can tie some flies for me, and the giveaway is yours. And so that was it. I just trusted, and he sent me this whole case. I mean, look at this layout. I mean, usable. I can catch some nice trout with this depending on where I am. I can catch bass. I can catch panfish all day long with these. And number 2, I can eat those things. Those fish together will make a good meal, and I don't care what anybody says. Listen, sometimes down the road, you might cross the paths with the time that you need to feed yourself. So I always like utilitarian gifts. That's why I love artifacts. They're so utilitarian. It's just a thrill to me. So my thanks to him. I hope he enjoys those artifacts, that 5-point giveaway. Check it out. Look at these points. And I think this is about the 5th video in the stone stories. And I'll just roll right through them. Here's a great point from Saponi. At Saponi, I've never found a point that's like this one. It's not a repeat. Sometimes I have certain styles or whatever that repeat themselves. Sometimes particular points stay unique. This one has. I just haven't found anything like it. Always, any comments that say, hey, that's this kind of point, really cool, or whatever. I'm always looking to learn. I do not research point styles. I have an idea of what periods they come from. And if you're picking up on it, there's two patinas because it was probably for 1,000 years laying on one side or another. So that was a great point. I'll just put it right down there as we go by now. Saponi, that day I actually found two awesome smokers, another one on my top shelf in the same area, this one and another. So it was a good day. I mean, a really good day. It's not often you do that. Look at this point from the run at Mecca. And now the run is the lower part of Mecca, the lower part of the hill, and it was just sticking up just like that. Mecca is one of those areas, and one of the sites, I have very few, that does consistently produce serrated points. And this is like a rhyolite serrated pickwick, and it was just sticking up like this after a good rain. I remember the sun was rising, and it's on film. A lot of these you can trace back if you're good enough. One of these giveaways, I'm going to say, if you can trace back and tell me what the title is on the video that this is featured, then you win. I like to mix it up and, try to keep people engaged. That was a great point. Most of the time I'm collecting points based on their feel and utility. For example, this is another one from Mecca, the same land site. See the commonalities? It's pretty interesting, right? That came right off. Look at the cortex, I think they call it. I love that point. It's just made the way it needed to be. I don't think they made a knife where they just seesaw. Now some people say, well, it's because it's a little bit less balanced on that side and that side. It could be a knife, but maybe not. God, how we all wish we really knew the answers to the things we think we know. I definitely will admit I don't know 90% of what I guess we should know about these artifacts. Look at those two from the same site. That's crazy, isn't it? Mecca. Here's another point down the way from Mecca. One of my very first points about 4 or 5 years ago. And it was just sticking up Proud Mary straight in the dirt like that. And I just wasn't used to finding artifacts then. It was about 4 or 5 years ago, and I was just like blown away. So it's always remained a favorite, even though, it's a field point. It's got little dings from the plows, but it didn't have to get hurt anymore. I just liked the shape. It was a great ancient Indian artifact. And the Bears always produced a lot of great things. For example, I just put it right there because I love it. See if I can find it. Oh, I can't open it up. I'm not going to open it up right now. Now the Bear, where I found this, is where I found that jade banner stone. I'll call it jade. It really appears. I saw a jade bracelet one time, and it's just it looks like jade. Here's the point. Site 5 as well, but opening sands. Funny, because I know right now that this point also came from opening sands. These two did. It was freshly planted sweet potatoes. Freshly planted up in rows. So there was a lot of washout in the rain, and you can just pick up the accents on the bevel on this one. It's great natural light. Traditional arrowhead shape, love that. But really the same footsteps. These were found different days, but the exact same site. And you know what? I mean, that's smooth. That's probably ground. It's just so smooth there. They're probably these two separated by hundreds and hundreds of years. Maybe not, but chances are they are, because there's some really old stuff that's come off that site. And when I mean really old, I mean it puts out Guilford Yumas too, and I know those push back to 6,000 BC. Here's that, talking old, I haven't figured this one out. My only guess is a Decatur. I don't know. Those of you who know points, and this is an old rhyolite. See, the original rhyolite color in there was dark navy. I don't know if it's focusing. Let's see if I can show you the original color inside that thing. Do you see it? I didn't break that. I mean, I remember finding it. I was just wishing that ear was still there. So it's a modern break, but I never figured that point. I found that at the Hawk, and it was just, and it's on video. One of my early videos, wide open. These are definitely not from these are iron deposits. Some of my points, they have got scraped, but not this one. This is a really unique point. If you know anything about it or have a story behind it that you could educate me, go ahead and do it. It's just great stuff right there. And the same region, I will say, produced this. Not the same site. I mean, this is from Hidden Alley, and this was when actually strawberries, and this is stone stories, strawberries were planted, and there was plastic down about 4-foot wide rows all the way down, but in between the plastic there was quite a bit of violence that happened to the dirt. It was all chewed up. So I figured I'd just go to the hot spot and I'd walk those dirt rows, and this was just out there. It's been banged a little, but like I said, these are the only points in similar style, in size, that I've kept. I don't know how many are here, but they just fit in the bin. I always liked them. That's not half as loud as it really is. Here's super smooth. This was under the tracks of a bulldozer. I'm not talking a combine with rubber wheels. I'm talking a bulldozer. And after they were pushing stuff around in the clear cut, that edge is as smooth as talcum powder, a baby's bottom. It's probably a lost lake, and it is beveled. So we say old. They're all wicked old, but this might be I don't know, 8,000 BC. I'm not sure the way it all works out. And I respect everyone's ideas about how old or young these might be, and put it all in the balance, because the dispensations of men continue to stretch out with all the different things that have to link into history that are scientifically represented. It's just wild to me. So I love that point. I remember just checking out a new, fresh, clear cut, and was finding flakes and just going up those bulldozer things, and this had escaped. Good stuff, right? Here's a point, for me, early, 3-4 years when the plateau was first being discovered. I've decided, forget about the time, I don't care, I'm going to do my best to represent these. And the plateau being discovered, I'd never found points at that point, so I was still just, and I still am, just staggered at the life of the North American Indian that's been around here. Look at this point. The stack is right in the middle, like the video before this. Often they can't get to it. They can't remove it, and they don't need to. It's funny. Signature, maybe it's proves its authenticity. I guess if somebody tried to fake points, they might not be able to get rid of that stack either. But the plateau. Here's a point. Just down the road, a half a mile from the plateau, Beaver Point. It's fairly new. It's about 2 years, maybe 3 years old. And they had turned the sweet potatoes under. And I didn't expect anything. I saw the top and I said, well, who knows what kind of point that could be. It looks pretty basic. It's actually not broken on either ear. I've looked real closely under everything. You can see the ears. Sort of meant it to be that way. Then I pulled it out and it just got to be a better and better smoker. The integrity of the point was the best part. Beaver Point. It's one of my earliest known sites in Site 5E. Because I just spread out from there, kept checking the land and finding new spots, and knew that they were living around there. It's just craziness. Look at all those points, will you? Stone stories. I got 2 stories left. This one that was a lost lake, remember that? Well, this point here, it's a pretty neat point. Same exact spot, same exact site as this one. So if you guys know if this has a similar dispensation as this, it could be the same people. It could be the same people. I do not know. It's beveled again. So, suspicions rise. What do you think? Same people? Same understanding of technology? I mean, they're really different points, but and that point hasn't put out in abundance like some of my points, but it's rich enough where I have to go back there whenever it's ready. And here's a point from the Clay Pot, one of my newest sites. Just made perfect out of a flake of rhyolite. Clay Pot is a fascinating place right next to the Archaic. And this thing was in beans for some reason. I don't know why they did it. Maybe they were trying something. They planted these beans in rows, furrows that were a little bit higher. They don't have to do that. They can split beans, but they did it this time. And that site just has a huge abundance of ancient Indian life. It's a, for certain, late Archaic, strong woodland site because there's so much incredible pottery there. But I found many artifacts there that are predate woodland too. So, like some Guilford Yumas that you'll see them on video, blow your mind. I mean, blow my mind. I mean, some Guilford Yumas there that are my best G10s. Anyway, that is a fantastic group for me. And so I just want to do a little bit of stone stories on that and show you those. I haven't even seen many of those for months and months, so it is certain you have not. So I can get these organized a little here just to get them in the camera angle. Appreciate everybody tuning in to Indian Trace. Without any shadow of a doubt, that right there, that's Indian Trace. Hope you find out there. If you have been patient enough to watch all this, you absolutely are in love with the North American Indian artifacts. Or, better yet, representing their race. A great race of men and women here. Their memory has been buried, forgotten, and abused, so we can do the best we can to educate people. Hope you find out there.